Hi Gertie, I've written a blog about how to make your relationship work. Um, it's something I've been wanting to write for a while. There's a few things I'd like to write about relationships, and I know I've had a lot of, failed relationships, and in a way, it does make me quite an expert because if you keep getting it wrong, then you know what you're doing wrong, so you can only get it right after that. But the bit I wanted to talk to you about is how to make a relationship work, how to get it right. Um, and the thing I realised in previous relationships was that I always wanted to walk away. Every time there was a problem, I wanted to do a runner basically. I wasn't getting my way, I didn't get what I want, and there was lots of arguing and bickering, and I just thought it's just easier to walk away. It's just, makes sense to disappear. And I do think some relationships aren't meant to work. I'm fully aware of that. But what I realised is that after the second time of splitting up with David, is that it was stupid that we were both apart, because apart from anything else, I knew that we were meant to be together. Well, I felt we were meant to be together. I'm fairly sure he feels the same. But I realised that wanting to run away wasn't helping anything. Every time we had a row, he would bugger off for a couple of days. I'd be saying, "That's it, it's over. I don't want to be with you anymore." And it's not a good way to be. You never feel 100% safe in the relationship. It makes for a bit of a volatile relationship really, because somebody's always got their one foot out the door. So you never feel safe, if you like. And I thought something needed to change. When we got back together, I thought something needed to change, and I thought, what would happen if we actually committed to making the relationship work instead of thinking, yeah, if I'm not happy, I'm just going to bugger off. And that was what I did. I decided, and we had a good talk, I decided that I needed to commit to making the relationship work. So every time we had a row, or every time there was a problem, it wasn't a case of, oh, that's it, I'm going. It was a case of, okay, we need to sit down and talk and work this through. And luckily, David saw it the same way, and that's sort of how it's gone since then. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everything's perfect and wonderful, but it has made a massive difference just committing to making the relationship work. And the other bit I wanted to say, I don't think it's a very long blog, this one, but the other bit I wanted to say is when you have a row, when you fall out, um, I remember sitting down one day on the bed, and we'd had a big Barney, and that was it, and I hated him, and I'm sure he hated me, and I find it really weird how you can go from being all loved up and happy and really loving each other and seeing this person as the be all and end all, to suddenly absolutely hating their guts and wanting, wanting to run for the hills. And I sat there and I thought, I don't want us to be falling out, whichever one it is. I don't want to be hating each other. I don't want to be feeling like this. And so I thought, I'm all right. I'm going to sit here and try and remember what it is I like about him, what I love about him, why I fell in love with him in the first place, why I started dating him. And after about 10 minutes, by the time I'd finished thinking of all the things that he'd done for me, all the night, like the flowers he buys me and how he spoils me, and he's always there for me, I realised, I thought, this is stupid. This is absolutely stupid. And I found that I couldn't be mad with him anymore. And it made me want to fix things. It made me want to go and talk to him and say, look, I'm sorry, we've buggered up. I don't know where we've gone wrong here. But at least it calmed me down and made me see things from a different perspective. And it's what I do a lot of the time. I do, I'll be honest, I do have moments that I'll stay mad because I just want to be mad for a while. But when I've had enough of being mad, that's when I make myself think of what I love about him and why we should be together. And it really made a change, or has made a change, to our relationship. It's made things completely different because I work at it and he works at it. He doesn't bugger off these days. He doesn't make me feel insecure. He stays around and we talk things through, and until it's sorted, until we're both happy. And the one thing that he always says whenever we've fallen out, he says, I've never intend to hurt you. I never intend to, he also says, I know I'm a tit sometimes, but I never intend to hurt you. And it's made me realise that I never intend to hurt him. And I always think most couples don't intend to hurt each other at all. I don't think you intend to upset the other person. It just happens. You just sort of tread on each other's toes, and you do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing or whatever it is, but you don't really intend to hurt each other. And I really think that thousands and thousands of relationships could be saved if only people would take the time to talk to each other and take the time to remember why they got together in the first place, and see the good in each other again. I just think it's a shame. I genuinely believe that more relationships would work, because running away is all well and good, but half the time you end up meeting somebody else, and yes, it's all wonderful and lovely at the start, and all this person's the be all and end all. But then a lot of the time you have the same problems. You go through all the same motions, the same issues that you have to work through to get to where you are. And if there's one thing I know, is men and women and relationships are the same the world over. They usually are. Doesn't matter what language you speak, they are the same the world over. Men work in one way most of the time, women think in one way most of the time, and working together in a relationship is always the same. You always have a lot of the same issues. You could talk to thousands of couples throughout the world. I can guarantee that we all have the same issues. So if you think you're with the right person, if it seems that you found someone who you could really make a life with, full on relationship with, then surely to God it's worth working at, and not running for the hills every time there's a problem, and committing to making the relationship work. I'm not saying stay in a miserable relationship. I really don't think you should do that. And I know the couple of previous relationships I've had, they weren't meant to work. I wasn't meant to be with them. So, you do have to be careful. But if you really feel like you're with the right person, then you've got to commit to making it work. You've both got to make yourself a little bit vulnerable, honest with each other, and remembering why you got together in the first place. Honestly, it's so simple, but it really makes a difference to making the relationship work. So give it a whirl the next time you fall out with your other half or your partner, or you've had a Barney. Just calm yourself down and remember why you're with him in the first place, why you even got with him in the first place. Because I can guarantee you can't stay mad for long, and try and teach him to do the same thing. But also commit to making the relationship work, commit to staying together, as opposed to thinking there's always going to be something better, because I don't think there is. I really don't think there is. So have a think about it. That's my bit of wisdom for today. Okay, all right. I love you lots. Bye, Gertie.